Congratulations on capturing the 7-dimensional strings and opening up the Stargate. You are now in Paris, specifically the Louvre, one of the world's largest and first art museums. So in the Louvre, you have an enemy, Reata, and you need to save the Mona Lisa. And in this programming scratch, you're going to learn how to make variables, which is a new term. And variables are used to keep score and to give players lives. And you're going to make a puzzle game. So to get started off, make sure you download Stage 3, which I have done. And step 1, click the stage button over here, and we need to add a program for some background music. So click Advance. When green flag clicked, we want to add music forever, and go to the sound, and let's play XYLO2. And now we're done with the background. So now to move on to our next sprite, Reata. So Reata's over here. We're gonna do quite a bit of programming for Reata. So to get started off, when green flag clicked, we're gonna make Reata float in the air. So I'm gonna add a forever block, so he does this forever. And to make him move up and down, I need to change Y by +2 and change Y by -2. After I do those two things, I of course need to put in a wait block. And I don't want it to wait 1 second, I only want it to wait 0.3 seconds for both of them. And that one's done. Next, here's where Reata's going to give us a question. He's going to give us a hard time. So when green flag clicks, we want his text box to show, and he's going to ask us, which is a sensing block. He's going to ask, "Who are you?" Question mark, and he's going to wait. Then we, or the person playing your game, is going to say something. So we want it to say space for 2 seconds. And it's going to say, "See if you can answer my questions," for 2 seconds. And we're going to add another say block. But this time, instead of saying hello, he's going to say the answer. So go to Sensing, look for the answer button, which is in the middle, plop that in. And if you look at it, if I press the flag button, he doesn't say, "Who are you?" I can say, "Mr. Bussy," return, and he doesn't say, "See if you can answer all my questions, Mr. Bussy." And that's all we did so far. Next step, we want him to ask a question forever. Well, not forever, but until you answer it. So one more ask button. But this time we're going to put in a question there. You don't have to do my question, but you can follow along. Who painted the Mona Lisa? And now we need to give them 2 options. Option A is going to be Leonardo da Vinci, which is the correct answer. Or answer B, I'm going to put Ludwig von Beethoven, which I think you all know is not an artist. Well, he is an artist, but he's a piano artist, a music artist. After that, we want to make an if-then statement. So if the person answers A, they'll get it right. If they answer B, they're going to get it wrong. So if, we have to go to operators. There we go. =1. If the answer equals A, then they're going to be right. If they answer B, then they're going to be wrong. So if answer A, Reata is going to say, you are right. If they answer B, he's going to say, try again. And next, now we have a right answer, now we have a wrong answer. Even if your player answers it right, you need something to happen. So we need to broadcast a new message. So Reata has 3 questions to ask. So we need to make sure they move from question 1 to question 2 to question 3. So we need to, that's called broadcast. And I need to make a new message, and we'll call it question 2. And so once they get right, we're going to move to the second question, and we want this script to stop completely. So I'm going to hold stop, but I don't want everything to stop. I just want this script to stop. And then you're done with the first question. So the second question is going to be something similar to this over here. So I'm actually just going to duplicate part of the block. This is for everyone. And I'm going to scroll down a little. I'm going to move this one out of the way, if it lets me. So I duplicated it. I'm going to change things up though. The most important thing about this one, we need to not do green flag clicked, because if we do green flag clicked, question 1 and question 2 are going to appear at the same time. We want this one to wait until the players answer question 1 successfully. So when I receive question 2, then Reata is going to ask a second question. So my question 2 question is going to be, where was it painted? Is A, was it painted in Madrid, Spain? Which is the wrong answer. Or is it B, Florence, Italy? Which is the correct answer. So below, I need to change these. Answer A is the wrong one, so I need to make sure Reata says, try again. If they answer B, Reata's going to say, you're right. And instead of broadcasting question 2, we want to move them to question 3. So, new message, question 3. And I'm going to move this one off to the side. And again, question 3, if you want, you can duplicate this same part of the block. But I'm going to move, when I receive question 3, I'm going to ask a new question, where is it now? And I could say answer A, which is the Louvre, which is in Paris, which is the correct answer. Or I can say option B, it's in the Colosseum, which is in Rome, the wrong answer. So I need to move these ones around. Answer A is the correct one. Answer B is wrong. Move that around. When they answer it correctly this time, I'm going to put in a say block, and Reata's going to give us one more challenge. He's going to say, now try this puzzle. And he's going to give us an evil laugh at the same time. Just pretend it's more ha 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 evil laugh for 2 seconds. And we want it to hide. And we want to broadcast not another question. We want to broadcast a puzzle. So I'm going to type in puzzle, select OK, and make sure the script stops. You do these 4 blocks over here, Reata is finished. So we have them floating. We have question 1, question 2, and question 3. Next, we're going to do the puzzle. So I'm going to click the puzzle sprite. And I just want you to look at the costume over here. You don't need to do anything, but just look how the Mona Lisa, there's 10 different costumes. There's the instructions, instructions 1, instructions 2. Then Mona Lisa's been cut into 4 pieces, top right, bottom left, bottom right, top left. Then there's the directions of how to move the puzzle around. There's the start button, there's the windscreen, and of course, every time you have a windscreen, you need a loose screen. So sad. So just look at it. I just want you to see that you can have many, many, many different costumes within a sprite. So now to go back to the scripts and to program something. So here is the variable script. This is the new button, the data one. This again allows you to create lives. So we're only going to give our players 3 chances to solve this puzzle correctly. So click data, click make a variable. And remember, I'm told I'm going to give 3 chances. So I'm going to give this name chance. If you wanted to give them lives, you can name it live. Click the OK button. And now you have these 4 new blocks over here. Set, change, show, and hide variable. So what we want to do, when green flag clicks, And you can kind of see at the top right, chances it says 0, because we haven't programmed it to. So we actually want to hide that for right now. We don't want our players to see how many lives they have right away. So it's going to hide. So when you click the green flag, that's gone, and we can move on to the next step. This one looks like a long step, but it's actually pretty simple here. So let's go to the events. When the game receives the puzzle, which means after they answer the correct third question correctly, Reata challenges us to this puzzle. We want it to go to 0, x0, y0. We want to now show the variable. Now their lives are going to appear, and we're going to switch costumes. And we're actually going to be switching a lot of costumes. Switch to costume instructions 1 and show. Let's have it wait for a couple seconds, 2 to be exactly. And then we're going to switch costumes again. So there's going to be a lot of repeating these steps over here. Switch to costume, wait 1 second. I'm actually going to duplicate this. So we have a total of 7 different ones. And I'm going to duplicate, so that's 4. I need 3 more. And after duplicating, I have 7 total. So before I connect the blocks, number 1 should say Mona Lisa 1. This one's going to say Mona Lisa 2. The third one's going to say Mona Lisa 3. Fourth one's going to say Mona Lisa 4. Fifth one's going to say instructions number 2. The sixth one's going to say arrow key. And the last one's going to say the start button. And then I'll plug these all together. And I want to give them 2 seconds to read the instructions. I'm going to give them 6 seconds to read the arrow keys. And then, actually I don't need that wait block. And then I'm going to broadcast the start of the game. So broadcast, got to make a new message. I'm going to call this one start. And this block's finished. So I'm going to put it off to the side. And this is where it's going to be the most tedious part of this project. It's not that hard, but we now need to make a winning scenario and a losing scenario. But you can actually just duplicate this a lot. So it's not as bad as it sounds. When I receive start, we want to make a big forever block. This is going to be a really big one. And inside of it, if the player presses something, then something else is going to happen. So this block right here, if they pressed up arrow, which is the wrong answer, what they're going to do is going to switch costume to Mona Lisa 3. And then we're going to say, oh, so sorry, for 1 second. And then we're going to broadcast the answer. Oh, wrong one. Broadcast the answer. Wrong. So it shouldn't be there, so make a new one, type wrong. That's part 1. So we need to do one for every single arrow now. So I can just duplicate this. But instead, if the down arrow is pressed, the down arrow is actually Mona Lisa 4, which is still the wrong answer. And then that one's done. I can duplicate this one more time. If the left arrow is pressed, it's going to say correct, because the left arrow is the first one that you want to press correctly. And it's going to broadcast, not wrong, it's going to broadcast number 1. So I'm going to make a new message, title it number 1. And then, of course, you want this script to stop. Not all of them, just the script. But we have the up arrow, down arrow, left arrow. We need the right arrow. So I'm going to duplicate one more. And this one's going to be the right arrow. Oh, I forgot to change something. Remember, make sure you're changing the costumes. The left arrow costume should always be Mona Lisa 1. the right arrow is going to be Mona Lisa 2. And of course, Mona Lisa 2 is not the correct answer, so I can put this inside of here, and that's part 1. We now need to do this 3 more times. So I'm actually just duplicate this entire script. Move that good one to the side. Now, when the computer receives number 1, we're now going to need to change it. So this correct answer is the right arrow. So this right arrow, I'm going to move these around. So right arrow is the correct one. I'm going to plug that in, plug this in. But instead of broadcast number 1, we want to broadcast message 2. Stop this script. And then you are done. That's how simple that was. We just had to move stuff around. So if they press the up arrow, it's going to be wrong. If they press the down arrow, it's going to be wrong. If they press the left arrow, it's going to be wrong. If they press the right arrow, we want to broadcast 2 and make sure it says stop this script. So I'm going to duplicate this again. This time when I receive number 2, the correct answer is going to be the up arrow. So I'm going to pull this one out, pull this one out. This is the correct one, so I'm going to put this correct one at the up arrow, put this wrong one at the right arrow, and instead of broadcasting 2, I think you know what's going to happen. Make a new message, broadcast 3, done. One more time to do this. Duplicate this. I'm going to make this one when I receive number 3, and the correct answer is going to be the down arrow. So I'll pull this one out, pull that out, put the wrong answer as an up, correct answer is down. But since this is the last one, instead of moving to another puzzle piece, we want to make a new message and call it win. So this is the win screen is going to pop up, and you are done with these big parts over here. Last page, small couple blocks. You just need to make a scenario for when the player wins and for when the player loses. So go to the events. When I receive wrong, we want to make a data. So when I receive wrong, change chance by -1. So that means when the computer receives a wrong answer, it's going to change the player's lives or chances by -1. So they lose a life, basically. And then you also want to make a win screen. So if I just actually I don't want to duplicate it. So when I receive, in the events, when I receive win, we're going to switch costumes to the win screen, not the lose screen. Switch costumes to the win screen. And this time, you want to stop all scripts so the players cannot play your game anymore. Stops everything. And the last step now, we have them losing lives, but just because they lose 1 life doesn't mean you want the lose screen to appear right away, because they have 3 lives. So you want to make a program so after they lose 3 or more lives, game's over. So when green flag clicked, we're going to set chance to 3. This is going to be how many lives they have. If you want to be nice and give your player 5 lives, type in 5. If you want to be mean, give your player only 1 chance before they have to start all over, type in 1. And you want this to be in effect forever. And we need to make an if-then statement. So if the chances, and I'm going to use a little bit of math here for a second. You want to grab the arrow that's pointing to the left, plug that one in, type in 1. So what this means, if, I'm going to go to the data, plug in chance. Plug chance in. If chance or lives are less than 1, then you want to show costume or switch to costume Mona Lisa lose and make sure they stop all so our players can't cheat and get out of it. And they have to start all over. So set 3 lives forever. If the players have less than 1 life, switch to costume lose, stop all, and good luck. Make sure you beat the